Let's see if anyone actually gets it. Hey, back. Let me just quickly re-upload the. All right, back to 5. Hopefully that's got everyone back. Hey, Mr. Big Dose. We had a technical glitch. Alright, I think we should be good. Hopefully everyone manages to jump back across to this. If not, I guess we'll slowly grow. I just gotta quickly turn that computer off that stream. Alright, cool. We're back. Can everyone hear me fine? Or is there still an issue with my microphone, or has it come good, or is it worse? Alright, it says we've got 8 people back. Yeah, Michael, sure. Dreaming. Alright, cool. So I think we're back up and running. This might have worked in my favour because everyone might get a notification that I'm live and more people might jump on for a browse, so we'll see. Oh, cool. If it sounds fine, then maybe it was my phone case or other people's shit just wasn't working. So, Tin Shed, when do you get an ISO? Have you driven your car at all since the dyno or just the drive home or something? Yeah, Bulls Water. I think when I was trying to clear the mic, I may have hit a button on my phone or something and it turned the screen off and disconnected and wouldn't reconnect. Like it showed on my phone it was still live, but all the my laptop here just started playing an old video like it was cancelled, so I just thought screw it, I'll cancel, start again, and hopefully everyone finds it, comes across. Oh, so, alright. Yeah, maybe my phone's done, needs a upgrade. Which it probably does, the charging port's fucked on it. Cornfed, have you decided to enter the next drag event yet, or are you still up in the air about it, just seeing how things go, especially with what's happened lately? Yeah, sweet. That's good then. Second is just tie spin. That's always fun though. It can be annoying, I guess, when you're trying to get somewhere quick, but sitting there just power skidding, you can't go wrong. Yeah. When does your video, when are you planning to have your dyno video come out? Are you still a couple of weeks away with that? I out of ISO Saturday. Fuck, it's a full week. It's rough. Well, you're going to louder now. All right. Oh, as long as you guys can hear me, I guess. Yeah, fair enough, Cornfed. Makes sense. Oh, yeah, fair point. Tim said that could be annoying, eh? But at the same time, at least if you're losing, because they're like, yeah, well, didn't you see me frying? No dramas, Nitro. Three more videos. That's all right. Like, it's good having the backlog though. Less stress to film and get edited and get one out for that week. Hey Sean, nice last name you got there. Wolfie, probably not just your phone. Mine spazzed out and the stream cancelled, so I restarted. I have no idea who you are too as well, Wolfie. That YouTube name doesn't give any hints. It's always good, Sean. Hopefully, I'll get your head gaskets and head bolts ordered soon, and we'll get your motor done. Pick up your VY, get that into it. She's tucked away over there. Wait, see my hand over there. I turned the camera, but no one needs to see that mess. You've probably seen it in my videos. Anyway. Yeah. Yeah, that's the plan. Get her running with a standard cam, then over the pits, and then cam it and send it. What you may even do is we'll just get another ECU and just put a mathless tune on that for a standard cam, and then reorder your same cam, and then just whack it in, and then don't need a tune. Just send it. Same here, tin shed. I have only towed a car twice on it. One was through the day, but back roads. The other time was to and from the dyno, and it was night. So it was kind of away, but I have talked to a trailer guy and I'm getting it dual axle converted and extended a meter as well, because it's a bit shorter since I had a car on it. It looked long. I measured it, I was like, oh yeah, that fits, but once I put a car on it, it was a little bit short for a sedan to strap it down. So yeah, $2.5 grand I got quoted to dual axle convert it and extend it a meter. I'd be more than happy doing it myself, but it'd be one of those things that would always be sitting on my head every time I tow one of my own cars is did I do it correctly? I did my welds penetrate fine, etc., etc., and then say it did break and then I lose a car because of it. I never forgive myself just for trying to be cheap. So for $2.5 grand, I'd rather do that, especially with tax time right here. Put some money aside and get it done. So yeah, it will be dual axle converted and extended a meter, so it will still tilt. Shouldn't need ramps. But yeah, after I spent the time on it and it looks good, I don't really want to get rid of it. Oh, sweet. Dan has one, and try grab it off him, and then I've got to get the HP Tuners dongle soon, so I can put a mathless tune on that. I got to do it. Well, Jess is in front of me, but for hers, I got to do that as well. What power are you chasing, Wolfie? Is it just the 500 you said earlier, or are you going for more? And also, Tinchet, I also want to convert to dual axle as well, because say I pop a tyre, at least there's 3 other tyres holding it up, or 1 other on that side, whereas at the moment I'd be fucked. But yeah, it'll happen. Main thing is I picked that trailer up for $2 grand. I'm probably $1 grand deep into it, so $3 grand, $2.5 grand. It's $5.5 grand for a registered trailer, especially because it's 2 meters wide. Everything else is like 1860 or 1930, which EcoJet's width is 1880, I think, with these tyres. So it'd be a prick to drive onto. Be worried about scuffing rims. Same as the VE. I think that's actually 1910, which makes it even worse. So I like the width of it. So yeah, any trailer with that wide and with brakes and everything's about 10 grand here in WA. So I'll still be ahead. I just went the long way about it, I guess. Buy something and work on it, but I'm fine with that. If you just want 500, an Ecotec bottom end's fine. You could get an L67 bottom end, and that'll be way more than fine. But if you don't come across one cheap enough or easy enough, then the Ecotec bottom end will be fine, man. Yeah, that's it, Tenched. It's always on the back of my mind. Every time when I drove the EcoJet to and from Medina on a trailer, I'm lucky with my Hilux with a rear reversing camera. There's a button that gets installed as well that you can turn the camera on whenever you want. I had that button pressed, so the camera was on the whole time, so I could watch it out the window, in the screen, everything. I took all the back roads. I didn't really go on the freeway or highway too much, so it wasn't too many speeds and bumps to worry about because I was pretty paranoid about it. But I am very, very, very happy that I did get it, because if I didn't and drove to and from Medina, I would have been screwed because it threw the belt. Which tomorrow when I start it, I've readjusted my relocation, auto relocation. Hopefully now it shouldn't throw the belt, but we'll see. It's always unknown. I've got a big thick steel plate that I'm going to be making. Got it partly cut out, but at the work I'm at now, they've got linishes and bandsaws and everything there, so I'm just going to take that up there and cut it. Be way better than using a grinder. Sleep Bulls water, the mic's good, then that's happy with that. No worries, Wolfie. Feel free to message me on Facebook or Cornfed Boost as well. There's if you go on the pages anyway, you'll see who the people are that actually know their stuff. So whoever you feel most comfortable talking to, or message them all and get everyone's opinions, because everyone's opinion is always different on what works and what doesn't, or their own experiences. So you can get a good basis of a lot of information, and then you'll see common trends that pop up, and then you can go with people's ideas you prefer. So yeah, anytime, man. Always happy to help. Sean, I'm not even sure if we have a power cruise this year. I think we're skipping Perth this year. We have to wait till next year, which sucks. But I'm hopefully taking both. I'm not sure between the VE and the VY, because I know the VE I can just turn key and just go have fun. I will lose all the off-street racing and power skids, which is fine. It sucks, but I'd rather just get in there and just drift and have fun. VY I would like to take, but also putting that through hell, as long as that also brings up issues of potentially ending the weekend short for things going wrong. But maybe I'll enter both. Maybe I'll trailer the VY up and I'll drive the VE there. Who knows? We'll see. Do you have to have an airbox in front, or you just have to have the filter mounted in 2 locations? I know here in WA we can have a pod filter legally, but we have to get a permit for it, which is like 20 bucks. No inspection for it, you just have to get a paper permit. Same as extractors, just paper permits like $20 or $28 or whatever. But for the pod filter and air intake pipe, it has to be mounted in 2 spots. So you could literally mount it at where the pod joins on and on the pipe, or if you can't fit any pipe, mount it at the beginning of the pod and the end of the pod, and you got your 2. Yeah, but then again, I'm not in New South Wales, so maybe you do need an airbox. But I'd hit up Corn-Fed Boost for turbo manifolds. I know with mine, you could fit my turbo further back, so you could ask him to do that, and then you easily fit an airbox in there. You can make some up out of ABS plastic as well. So there's ways around it. Yeah, James, look, like I said, I want to, but I run the risk of things going wrong. And I might go out there for one day and say a little thing happens and it puts the weekend short. If this is the only car I bring, then I've paid $1,000 for VIP and I've got a couple hours out of the car till something went wrong because I'm absolutely raping it. I don't know if you guys have watched my Power Cruiser video a couple of years ago in the VA. Don't blame if you didn't, because it's like there's a long video there. But I just go out there and I'm just full send on the track. So that's a lot for this to take. But yeah, I don't know, if I can afford it, I'll take both cars. Well, that's it on the VEs basically for power cruising drifting at this point. There's just like, there's no point driving it on the street. Like I have a couple times, but it doesn't really interest me. There's too many cops around. Yeah, but Wolfie, how come you want to engineer it as well? Is your car registered at the moment? He's in New South Wales, Corn-Fed. Now people messaging me on Facebook. Nothing loaded. Oh. Oh, they pricks down in New South Wales. Yeah, well, for this is a street car, it's my daily. So, like, there's no point engineering. At least I don't know about New South Wales, but here in WA, engineering means nothing. You can have an engineering certificate. You can have a folder this thick full of legal documents stating your car is legal, and they can still defect it, yellow sticker it, whatever you guys call it, and have to go back over the pits for an inspection to get it licensed again. So, yeah, engineering is kind of a waste of money till you need it, because it has no effect on cars being defected, at least here anyway. Yeah, the V needs tint, so does the VY, but I'm not going to waste money on that when I'm still need go fast bits or fixing bits. The Ford needs tint, the VY needs tint, the VE needs tint. Tin Shed, all you need to remember is just the Blues. The Blues have still got a chance to win it this year. Which they better. When is game 3? 13th of July, this Wednesday. Lovely. Oh, really? Well, if that's lucky. Here, if it's engineered, it helps to go over the pits, but they still inspect everything. It just means when they spec something and see that it's modified or illegal without engineering, that document passes it. But they still inspect everything and go over everything. It literally just makes no difference, really. Not sure what's next with FJ. I still want to keep paying off a bit more before I throw money at it. I don't feel too good spending a lot of money on it when I still owe Brad money for it. It's kind of shit, especially from his position where he could see it as well. He's spending thousands on it, but why couldn't he give me those thousands to pay it off? But yeah, I still need to send it back for a retune though. That will be a couple of $100, so I might do that. Yeah, apparently, aren't you guys losing? I can't remember what I saw. Was it you losing a couple players, or you might be gaining a couple back? I can't remember which one it was. Should be a good game though. That's what I need to do. I need to message Brad for this game. Oh, fuck off. I didn't mean to click you, you cunt. Yeah, Wolfie, everything gets looked at. It has to be to spec. The VY just has Petters coilovers all round that I got on Gumtree for $300. I saw a set of rears pop up for $300, so I grabbed them, and then it was like 6 months later, a set of fronts popped up for around $300 again. Grabbed them, so it's just running Petters coilovers all round, set to rock hard because that's what I liked back in the day, and I'm too lazy to change the settings, even though it's just an thing on top. Sneezy, the clutch is back. I actually installed it today. I was out. I landed Friday evening, like 7 p.m. and because it was Misso's birthday, I went straight to the pub for dinner. Then it was also her dad's 50th the week before, so we went out yesterday around lunchtime. Had lunch, stayed out all night and stayed in a hotel. Got back today around 2 or 1, maybe 1 p.m. And then I got the clutch back in today, and I've got a course tomorrow morning, a refresher course. And when I get back, gearbox will be going, where is it? There, gearbox will be going back in, exhaust and tail shaft, and I can test it. If it's not raining, I'll still drive it, but I mean, test if it's slipping. If it's dry, yeah. Oh, so you lost too. All right. Yeah, that might affect things. Yeah, see, I told Brad, it's any time he wants to drive it or enter a drift event, just tell me and he can take it. It would just be the same kind of deal. If he breaks it, he pays to fix it. And he can supply his own tyres, but he can grab it and do whatever he wants with it whenever. And if he wants to buy it back, I'll never say no. He can buy it back and I'll sell it back to him for the same price. He sold it to me, provided I haven't spent money on it. Like, say I do the full exhaust, new intercooler, tune, then obviously the price will go up because of that, but yeah. Yeah, Wolfie, but yeah, that's what it's like here in WA. People think it's all cruisy because we can drive whatever we want on our L's and P plates, but when it comes to cops, they love defecting. They've defected, literally here in WA, they have defected cars that have come off the showroom floor and people have been driving home. But they got, I think it was like 2Ks from the showroom floor where they picked up their brand new car and it got defected. And you can't argue a defect. The cops have every right. They have to think that something isn't legal, not know, but just have to think. And then it's up to the pits to, well, we call them pits here, the licensing centres, the pits to go over the car and deem if it's roadworthy or not. Sneezy Justin is absolutely packed out till the end of August, last I heard. It was the same when it went before. So basically, as soon as I know it's ready, I just message him, let him know that it's ready, and he'll let me know if he can sort me in somewhere. Justin's really good with that when it comes to myself. He will always try to fit me in where he can, which is very much appreciated. And he looks after me price-wise as well. He always discounts me for my tunes, which is awesome because I send him a lot of business because all my cars basically represent BYE Performance, what they can do, and his tunes. And he looks after him in the sense of slotting me in when he can, even if he's busy, and he looks after me price-wise. So, and I'm more than happy with his tunes, obviously. So yeah, it's good. With what car, Sean? Oh, lucky man. Cops are chill. That's good. Yeah, well, that's what a lot of people don't understand here. All they hear is that we can drive V8s on the P plates on turbo cars. I think it's sick, but yeah, you can have aftermarket rims on a full drive with bigger tyres and you'll get stickered, like for no reason. Even though it's a legal size, they just have to think that it's not. I think you have a lift in it. They have to think your exhaust is too low. They have to think your car's too low. They have to think your car's illegally modified. They don't have to have proof. It's not up to the cops. They just have to think. And it's up to the pits. So that's why I got the Varex muffle for this. Because if I see cops around, I can shut it up. It's dead silent. They're not going to hear this horrible, disgusting Ecotec noise lumping its head off and the nang sound it makes cruising. I can shut it up and drive by. It gives me a blanket cover. A little bit at least anyway, but yeah. Yeah, well, that's what most people do, Sean, but it's in the past anyway. Yeah, Tin Shed, I agree. That'd be great. If they actually knew what they were doing and actually defected cars that were dangerous. Like a lifted 40 with muddies, I don't understand how that's a defect. It's not doing any harm. Yeah, lowered cars, same thing. It's stupid. Just some of the stuff they have, it's pointless. But yeah. You think there'd be a fine on Wolfie, but not here. Yeah. It's all revenue raising. They get whatever money they get from just sticker cars and make them go over the pits. You get some power hungry. Don't get me wrong, you get awesome cops here as well. That some are car guys, some will, if you respect them and be nice to them, and they'll let you go. Like I've been pulled over a few times in that, and that thing is completely straight piped and stupidly loud, and it literally sits out idling and tilting like this. And because I've been nice to them and haven't arced up and just had a normal conversation with them, they've let me go. And also because I don't drive like a dickhead on the road. But yeah. I missed the big dose because I was already spent too much money on it, and why go something else when I already had an LS that was already a weapon. At the time when I bought this, it was one of two. It was four turbo Ecotecs in WA. There had been a couple before one. was a big power auto car. Another one was mid power. Now it's making 750 through a T400, which is slug 6. There was another one which has since been wrecked and long gone, and a turbo Commodore. Who could say no? Like back when I bought this, it was a turbo Commodore was rare. Even like LS1s, LS3s, L98s, V8s. It was all rare. So it was really cool and something different. I needed a daily, perfect daily. I don't like slow cars, so it was perfect. And yeah, I just kept spending money on it. And it was something different. And then once I joined the groups and the forums, it was cool to be able to say, hey, this is mine, this is what it does, etc., etc. And at the time, the power this made on a stock motor being 421 horsepower was unheard of. Like, yeah, there was a couple, but no one was going about showing, being active on social media, I guess. Most people were making like 300 to 350. And yeah, it was just cool. And now it's something different. Tuning's come a long way, fuel's come a long way, Ecotechs have come a long way. I just kept doing it because I'm an idiot. The Varex muffler, so it's got a valve that, say that this is a valve, it will close and open. When it closes, there is a very small diameter pipe which diverts around the closed valve, so obviously you can still allow exhaust flow out. You're not meant to boost your car on it. It's very, very restricted. It can damage it, and the turbo definitely doesn't like it. You can hear it physically that it's choked up. Yeah, it quietens it down. It gets rid of a lot of the deep notes. So if you're filming on a phone, you won't really be able to tell because phones love high-pitched frequencies. So it will still sound loud, but in person, it actually drops dead quiet. And then obviously when it's open, it's like a straight-through muffler, typically. Well, that's it, Nitro. Same thing. I don't drive like a dick on the road. I try to enter enough events that I get it out of my system there. Like, yeah, we all might accelerate spiritedly from time to time, but I don't sit there fanging it every single time I drive it and speeding and everything. I guess I pick and choose smartly when I have a little bit of fun and I don't go too excessive. And you're a bit geriatric, yeah. That would help. Look, it is more unique and harder to come by, but it's also a lot harder to make 500 out of an Eco and more expensive than it is in a Barra. Barra will make 500 like it's nothing. Barras are just an amazing motor. They flow, their heads flow insanely well. Yeah, it's it, Tanchetta. It's something different and cool, especially being a Whipple. Bulls, what do you need to run at least 2 mufflers on an Ecotech, a boosted Ecotech, otherwise they sound like dog shit. They still do sound like dog shit with 2 mufflers, but the more muffling you can get, the better. Leave all the noise for the screamer pipe. Yeah, like Sean said, even the V8s, they work killer. Yeah, that's it, big dose. It always plays a part in your life. Yeah, that's it, Nitro. Their heads flow insane. Their standard heads flow 295 CFM at, I believe, 600 lift. Whereas most Ecotech heads, after they've been highly ported and polished, they'll flow around 235 CFM. So a standard head outflows an Ecotech night and day. Hence why you see Barras making 500 plus real kill on like 17 PSI. And then 17 PSI on the same size turbo on an Ecotech. I guess the cam plays a part in Ecotech too. The Barra doesn't have a cam aftermarket to make that, but you'll be making like, what, 17 PSI, the same size turbo, maybe 500, maybe. Whereas, yeah, the Barra is well and truly in the 700s. That's it, 235 on a good day. It'd be awesome if I knew what mine flowed, but that's up to Nathan. That's his secret squirrel stuff, same as the cam specs. I'd love to know, but this is hard-earned research and R&D, so yeah. I have a fair good feeling that mine flow a lot more than 235 though. No worries, Bulls Water, anytime. Yeah, I try to find a high quality muffler as well. But yeah, it's 100% run a rear muffler, otherwise they drone like hell, and the drone is disgusting. The sound is horrible. But yeah, maybe make a put a flange right at the rear so that you can change out the muffler and put like a straight puffin or a hot dog if you're doing events or a drag day or just to try it out in the street. But I definitely say as your main exhaust, budget for 2 mufflers and go from there. Oh really? 236 and 230, 242 and 2 different benches. Interesting. Regardless though, at least the lower number it's showing is right in the ballpark of what they should be flowing. Sean, I've still got to lift mine up slightly in the rear. It still sits a bit low where axles could be a problem, but we'll see when I start to drag race. I'm going to have to start hitting up some wreckers and start getting some axles stocked up and just take them with me. Oh really, so the Yates stuff has potentially fallen through. That sucks. Yeah, boys, what you could go a hot dog and a rear muffler, but just keep in mind it might sound like absolute dog crap. The Turbo Ecos sound like deep with 2 mufflers, and that makes it sound half decent. Yeah. Yeah, sweet, Sean. Let me know if Dan comes across any. I'm assuming it's through Dan. I thought, Tinchet, Yokes bought the last castings himself, or is it a CID thing that ended up falling through? Yeah, Bulls. One thing people think is that mufflers will quieten it down. Maybe idle might be a little bit quiet. Mine was never too quiet with 2 mufflers. Though that when you put power, like when you're on power, and then good mufflers that are high flowing will actually open up like straight through. It just gets rid of all the unwanted frequencies, so it actually sound really good. Yeah, Sean, I've used it 3 times, or at least twice so far. It's been killer. At least old Yates hasn't taken money off anyone yet, but I know he owes someone over 30 grand. Deposits have been paid. It wasn't for heads, it was for something else. Yeah, deposit, or not deposits, it was paid in full and they never received the items. Same thing, it's been about a year, so yeah, a bit iffy about ever getting anything from him. Bloody Americans. What were you getting from him, Nitro, or do you just mean just like his posts online? What tyre is in for drags or for just like what's on the car now? Yeah, cheers, Sean. It looks way better. That reminds me, actually, I got to loosen the bolt and retighten it up. Yeah, the Scoops fiberglass. I just painted it on the underside. On the street, they're just 245 40 18, like cheap Chinese crap. I just got the cheapest tyres from a tyre shop that I like to support, that have looked after me for years and years. Just the cheapest ones that fit the rims. Not like nothing special at all. Yeah, they're going to fry on the street, obviously, but I wasn't going to bother getting expensive tyres for it when I knew it was still going to sit for a while before it was driving, and then get it tuned and just fry tyres on the street with the good tyres. I thought I'll have fun with shit tyres. I've got ET Streets for the drag, so if I want traction, I can put them on. Yeah. Oh, okay, fair enough, Nitro. We sanded it back. The black was actually Plasti Dip. That was on mine. We started to sand it and it was just taking forever. And then a little bit peeled up and I pulled on it and it just peeled like Plasti Dip. But what was weird, it had a blue underneath that, which didn't seem like a primer or a base coat or anything, so I don't know what it was, but it all peeled up. Yeah, Sneezy, definitely will get a decent burnout. I've actually been waiting for my neighbour to move in. Their house is getting closer and closer. That might change now. He has a VF Commodore with an LSX motor with an 871 out the hood, proper burnout car. And his garage is the side of mine. This is my garage here, not a shed. So our garages are side by side. This is a 7-car garage. Here's a 9-car garage. So I was waiting for him to come in. We're going to open all the roller doors. We're going to set the GoPros out front, and we're going to do a side-by-side skid to christen all this, both our houses and that. But his motor, I can't remember, I think it dropped a valve. Something happened anyway, so he's going to have a new motor, so it might not be done in time, but so it might just be me when this is done. And then there'll be another one when we get the Misso's car done. She will do it in hers, I'll do it in this, or I'll just do it myself. But yeah, a skid will happen, 100%. Yeah, James, I don't know the shed, like I was saying, this is my garage, but it'll get done. Once I build my shed out the back, same thing, I'll reverse the car into there and I'll do a shed skid, definitely. 6, sounds good, Sean. Yeah, true. Once we get yours going too, you'll have to do one in here. Um, my tuner might be upgrading his dyno soon, so when I go back for a tune, I might ask him if he wants to sell his and see what pricing we can get, and might buy that and put that aside. So might be some content in the future of cars getting tuned. And a lot of, to make some money back quickly as well, do dyno days. So just have a variety of cars on the dyno doing power runs, which could be cool on the channel. Just set a GoPro up filming and just have all the cars on there and just do like power run after power run. Have the dyno screen showing so you can see what it makes. We're whether that's like a main video or a filler, but yeah, there'll be skids in the future, possibly dyno videos in the future. Yeah, Sneezy, I almost did end of last year. There was a dyno that popped up for sale. It wasn't the brand I wanted, but it was the right price. So I was talking to him and he asked like if I had a business, what I was going to be doing with it. And I said, this is where I'm at, this is what I want to do. And he said, well, he's actually selling his. I was going to do it, but probably wasn't the smartest thing because I obviously have to take a business loan, and then there's a lot of overheads you have to pay. I don't have a mechanical license, so I'd have to hire someone to take the mechanical license side of things. But yeah, it may happen. I do want it to happen in the future, but we'll see. It's a lot of money. I could do the tuning and the wiring side of things, and obviously I can do the mechanical too, but I need to have someone as either a co-owner or employee that can hold the mechanical license as well. Yeah. Wouldn't be dyno days here at the house, would definitely get cops called on us, and you need 3-phase power. I don't have 3-phase power. I could get upgraded to it, but there's no point. If I got the dyno, I would be leasing a workshop space and having it there, but I'd store it here until that time. If the dyno was sold for the right price, I'd nab it. Yeah, I guess the long-term goal is to get out of it. The misso especially would like that, but I don't ever think I'll earn the kind of money here in Perth, even owning my own business, as I do away. Obviously I'll be doing a lot less hours too, so that plays a big part in it. But at least, well, if I started my own business and got away from fly in, fly out, the first couple of years will be rough because you might be breaking even or at a deficit to get on your feet and get a clientele basis, and obviously a learning curve as well, because there's a lot of different softwares and firmwares to learn for cars. I couldn't just rely on tuning Ecotechs and aftermarket ECUs. I'd have to fully nail down HP tuners, and HP tuners isn't the same, it's different for mathless, it's different on VEs, VYs, it's different for Falcons, it's different for like Colorados, Hiluxes, whatever, everything they do. I'm a Sparky, Bulls Water, I'm fly in, fly out, Sparky. Like, which is also why wiring this up didn't phase me one bit. It was child's play for me. Yeah, I'll ride the fly in, fly out game for as long as I can because it is great money. And before I was doing fly in, fly out, like I had 7 weeks off recently in between jobs. I didn't want to do 3-in-1s. So the ones that they offered, I said no. I didn't bother looking for work for a while. I had enough savings due to my job that I was able to stay at home for 7 weeks. I bought the trailer, modified that, car got tuned, paid all the bills, and my share of the bills. Shouldn't say paid all the bills. Paid my share of the bills and everything in red as it came up, and I was still fine. So, yeah. Not necessarily Sneezy. There's a lot of other trades that get paid better these days. Sparkies used to be good money, and then a huge influx. The fucking cunts came on a boat, and they all seemed to be Sparkies, and there was more workers than there was work. And obviously the foreigners would take less money because they want the job and they want the visa. So companies were employing them over Australian residents. It's still kind of like that these days, but yeah. But a lot of the times, time away is easy when you balance it out. Time away works fine. It just becomes part of life. You get a week off home, and the week off home you can spend with them the whole time, you know. Depending on everyone's work schedules, you know, you got your time through the middle of the day when everyone's at work or school, depending on, you know, you got kids or wife or miss or whatever. Yeah, you do your own thing through the day, they get home, and then you can pack up and you can spend all the time with them, same as weekends. So you get used to it very quickly. Like, yeah, obviously it still can be tough, especially for your partners being home alone, if they are home alone, or just home with the kids dealing with that. But there's something you get used to very quickly. Yeah, that's fair enough, Tin Shed. The very family-friendly roster is 8 and 6, and they're bringing in a lot of even time rosters as well, so like 2 and 2. You work for 2 weeks, have 2 weeks off, which obviously is still, it can be just as stressful because you wait for 2 weeks or 8 days, but but then again, you're home for the same amount of time you're away. But yeah. Yeah, we are, Sean, but not having a late one because I got to be in Aussie Park for 6:50 a.m. for a refresher course tomorrow, which is bullshit. But I'm out of there by 9 a.m. and still don't. Technically, I guess I have a full day if I'm asleep, and I might not start something till like 9 or 10. So yeah. Yeah, boys. There's positives and negatives. It just depends. Everyone's different. Everyone's partners are different. It depends how you're able to go with things. But the money is a really good thing. Like, I built this house as soon as I started Fly and Fly Out. My first swing of Fly and Fly Out, I messaged the builder, the guy who designs the plans while I was there, organised a meeting while I was home. And my first week off from that, me and my partner Jess went in and saw him, and we got everything squared away. You know, what the pricing, the things, a plan we want to do, etc., etc. And I just got the ball rolling because I knew if I didn't do it now, and I just wasted money and everything else, or I just had a huge savings account or whatever, I wouldn't be able to do this later on. So it can set you up very well. A lot of people have plans, they do 3 years or 5 years or 10 years and get out, or till they have something and get out, which never happens because you always get sucked in. You earn money, you spend money. One of those things, you live that life. But there's ways about it. Yeah, too easy, Sean. Right, I'll probably keep the stream going for another half an hour unless we really pick up in questions. The views are going alright still, but obviously want the conversation to keep flowing. I can ramble on my own, but you guys might not want to hear what I'm talking about. Yeah, boys, what about it? Something to look into. Look into it, see what the swings are, see what the rate is, work it out, see if it's worth it, works for you. Sneezy, what trade are you? Because Fly and Fly Out and some certain trades may be the worst thing you do. Yeah, like for Sparkies, it's the worst thing you can do because Fly and Fly Out is it's basically a completely different trade. If you do that, then Sparkies have this thing called a capstone, which is like a final assessment to see if you pass. If you go Fly and Fly Out and haven't done anything like domestic or commercial, you're screwed. But yeah, depends on your trade, really. Because obviously you look at it and think all this great money, but you're actually hindering yourself for in the future. You might stay an apprentice longer because you can't pass. Depending on the trade, obviously. I don't know what other trades have to become qualified. Oh, you'll be right then. Fly out then. They're exactly the same. The only difference is, well, you get some LV, which are light vehicle, um, but if you might get pushed into the HV side, the heavy vehicle, like dump trucks, excavators, um, yeah, Moxies, all that kind of stuff. It'd probably be good. Hey Stabjet, how you going? No dramas. The actual first part of the stream, it glitched and it ended itself. So I put the clutch back in this afternoon. I've been out all weekend, so I only had a chance a couple of hours before. I just took my time to make sure everything was right. Got the measurements for the CSC crush, which I'm going to redo again. But yeah, the clutch came back, all refreshed and everything. It's back in. Gearbox to go in tomorrow after I get back from the refresher course, and then I'll take it for a test drive and hopefully it's dry so I can get on it and see if it slips. Doesn't slip, message Justin, tell him I'm ready for the dyno and try suss out a day for it. But yeah, that's where we're at. So yeah, it's back in the car, just rolled it on the hoist for the stream. But yeah, that's the gearbox for it. Okay, well, Sneezy, yeah, you'll be right then. Yeah, Stabjet, all the boost, but we'll see where the head gaskets give up on life. I do feel pretty good though with how the combination of the heads cam and the turbo are going so far. Like with it slipping a 19 psi and making 609 at 6,500 RPM, I'm pretty happy with that. I feel like at the proper limiter setting, which will be like 7.5, 7.6, depending. The taper's off, obviously we're not going to keep pushing it. So it's still making power. And we spin to there. Yeah, I reckon it could be 650 to 700 on 19 PSI, maybe. I haven't actually looked at the intake temps just yet. I need to redo the logging settings on the link, because when the laptop's plugged in and logging, the ECU won't log. Then apparently it's still meant to, but I think it's just you got to refresh the settings. So obviously when it's on the dyno, Justin has his laptop plugged in and logging, and then I asked him a couple things. I think I asked him like where he span it to, and he said he thinks it was 6.5. I was like, right, I'll pull the log. And he's like, yeah, just download the ECU log. I got home and there's only 2.5 minutes of logging, which was me driving off the dyno up and down the street and loading it on the trailer, and then finding that the alternator belt came off. So yeah, it didn't log that. So when I take it for a drive, I'll see where the temps are. But I know previously they were starting at like 50 degrees and they're going down to like 35 on like a 20 to 22 degree day. But that was obviously like 10 PSI. So not a lot of heat being thrown into it, but it should be pretty good. A Plasmaman intercooler. So we'll see. Obviously, I don't think the turbo's even in its efficiency range yet, so we might have some hope there. It won't be just an air pump, a hot air pump. Yeah. Yeah, Sean, I think because I don't know if I missed it before or something has flexed and moved, but I had, say that's the harmonic balancer pulley like this, and then the alternator pulley was like that, slightly a few degrees. So it's happened a couple of times where the belt has come off a few ribs, and I'm assuming that's what happened. So I just shaved down the mounting point of the tensioner bracket so that they brought it back in. It's basically the same. I'm going to stop at Bunnings tomorrow and get an angle finder, just a cheap one. I don't care what the angle is, I just need it so it reads the same. Yeah. Yeah, so Stabjet, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to redo all the logging settings, and then when I take it out for a test drive, I will be logging on my laptop, and then I will obviously disconnect the laptop, and then I'll try pull the ECU logs, and if I can see the ECU logs when it's from when I've been driving and I know it should be good. I think what I'll do is I'll take it out as it is and just log, and then I'll disconnect my laptop, try and download the logs. If I can't download it, then I know it's the settings. If I can download it, I know it's something to do with his laptop. I could get Justin to use my laptop, but every tuner has their program set up how they like it, with what gauges and dials and settings, how it is. So it might annoy him and, you know, keep your tuner happy and things go smoothly. But I agree what you're saying, though, all the data is good, which is exactly why I wanted to download it too. I wanted to see all the data of when it was on the dyno, and same thing to prove. Some people don't believe that the clutch was slipping, but we could obviously he could see on his logs that the RPM we're hitting limiter. It was the same wheel speed, but the limiter RPM was back, and same as the dyno. Sorry, not the same wheel speed. It was a lower wheel speed, higher up, the same RPM, the same as a dyno. It was a lower dyno speed, same RPM. I was going to show screenshots of the log there to show it, and then everything else too. Make sure my oil pressure was good, which obviously it was, but I want to see what it was, fuel pressure and everything else. Nah, sure, not the bracket I made, but the factory tensioner, which I modified to suit. I just grinded the bit that bolts on to that. Yeah, so either something moved or something's gone funny, but it should be good. But yes, I love data as well. Well, Sneezy, like Stabjet said, a lot of people say Aerofoil is junk, Speedflow is the go-to. I have used a few Aerofoil things in the past and have been lucky, but I don't use the main things as Aerofoil. Maybe just like I need an odd fitting and I've had an Aerofoil supplier, etc. Yeah, but like Stabjet said, Speedflow is the go. The Australian company too. Yeah, Bulls Water, I'll be going auto if this clutch slips again, I'm not bothering getting it fixed or whatever, I'm just ripping it out and selling it all. Or if I break the T56, I'm not going to buy another box. They used to be 500 or 700, so I was happy just to go through them, but now it's like 2.5 to 3 grand, so no, either one fails or whatever. Or if I do get the manual record, or I'm just having no luck at the drags with it, like it's just no point trying and putting pressure on everything, then I'll get rid of it, and I'll be going to a T400 or 4L80. Not Power Glide for me. I prefer T400 or 4L80. But yeah. Oil pressure on Wyman Warm is 50 to 60 actually. Let me have a look. I'll pull up a log. Alright, oil temp when running, pressure. Zoom in on that. Let's find where I'm idling. Sorry guys, I'm just looking at the laptop here, just going to find a spot where I'm idling. There, 1081, that's close enough. Uh, 388 kPa, which is 56 psi. So yeah, 56 psi when hot at idle. And that's with the boosted built garage adjustable plate with because it's got adjustable oil pressure setting, but I set that to where he stated was factory. The amount of studs sticking out, the measurement I think was like 16 mil, I think he said. That's the factory setting, which I did to start with, because because there's no point cranking it up for no reason. And that's running 10W60. The bottle here. I'm using Caltex for Supercar 1 because that's all the best one the local has. The HPR 10 I just turned to water after like 100 Ks. It's just too thin. Yeah, James, the tyres weren't spinning. We checked that because you can see with the wheel speed. The wheel speed wasn't going up and then coming back down. Wheel speed was constant. Yeah, Stabjet. I would like the first gear in there. Ecos don't make enough torque down low. Anyway, having a chat to my tuner, he said don't go a glide, go a T400 in an Eco. Not a big enough motor to torque. Obviously, people have good luck with them, but off the line, he said a T400 will be a lot better. That extra lower gear will help. I'd like to go a 480 because it has the overdrive. Because, like I said, daily. Plus, everyone goes glide. I like to go T400, and also the other turbo eco here in WA, his T400 and he's had great results at the drags with his 60-foot times. So it'd be cool to do that, have some difference. Plus, also then when Cornfed and myself finally have a battle, it will be cool to have the different gearboxes instead of just have like a cookie cutter setup per se. Make it a bit more interesting of a competition. Turbo 400s do, 480s fit as well, but where the plug goes, it fouls on the transmission tunnel, which I don't really care about cutting my trans tunnel up. I already have, so it makes fitting the shifter for this easy. I don't have to. I can leave the shifter on and pull the box all the way out. Like I cut back heaps around. I don't really care, so I'll gladly cut into the side to fit that. But 408s cost an absolute fucking fortune. It's like 8K for a factory one, then getting one built to handle 1500 plus. It's probably like 15 to 20 grand for a box. I'll have to find his slit corn-fed, but I know it was down to like the 1.4s, 1.4, 1.5s from memory. On a street tire too. I think no, he's on ET Streets, sorry. What motors do they put the 10R80s on? Or behind, sorry. Yeah, sweet. It's killer time. If I get anything under a 2 with the manual, I'll be happy. Cheers, James. I hope so too. It's basically dead fresh, 2 new plates, all metals machined, and the clamping force of the pressure plate upped by 7,000 pounds. So yeah, hopefully. Have a good night too, man. Cheers for jumping on. Yeah, it's content. They are ridiculously priced. It's the only thing that throws me away from them. It's just going to be so costly. But I'd like to be different and do a T400 anyway, or a 480 obviously. But yeah, be a little bit different. Test things out. Plus, at the end of the day, if I go a T400 and I don't like it for whatever reason, I'll be able to sell it here. A lot of the LS guys use them. Oh, okay, look, Coyotes. Some LS builds, yeah. Yeah, 20k. It's such. If it's not a dedicated drag car that you're competing, that's so much money for a box. I'm budgeting like 12 to 15, which you may say, oh yeah, 15 to 20 is not much, but 5k is a lot. 6L90, what one's that? Oh, the 6-speed. Stabjet is spraying as well. Yeah, you could get it converted to manual, couldn't you, Tin Shed? Hey, Shane, you made it on. Found the right one. Oh, it's working. Oh, VF trans. I know 6L80 VE auto trans. I'm not sure. Unless if 6L90 is what the HSV, the LSA HSVs came out with. I want to go T400 or 480 or what else 67. But I've been searching for cases. There's like been none. I found one for sale. It wasn't a guy, but I found one for sale, and then before he replied, it said it was sold. Everyone else just wants it as a exchange basis only at the moment, which sucks. I'll possibly bulls a little bit. Like I said, I don't know what ones come in, the VFs, only the VEs. You still might be right. At least your converter should be good for the next spicy one. Hopefully those airbags will stop that happening. Oh yeah, only gas to 3 bar and send it. What size shot were you running before? Did you go to 200 or 175? Yeah, you can always get one rebuilt to suit. Anyway, even hit up Jim, see what he used or who he went through. Leave the line at 5k RPM. Oh, that would have been good. Off at 6. Yeah, I was going to say at 9. Spinning that. Oh, okay, it was the highest. Yeah, I reckon a Pulsar G45 might spool up quicker than yours. Possibly. It's hard to say. Should hit Pulsar up to sponsor you. Have a set amount of boost on Hops Dyno and then back to back it. Do you run in open loop or closed loop for boost control? God damn. So Confed, if we do race manual versus auto, you're going without gas. I should be well past half track before you're on boost, and then he will catch up. 5k and 14 psi. Oh, that'd feel fucking awesome. Yeah, you should, if you don't want to hold on to yours, you should be able to sell it pretty easy. Just get on the Turbo LS pages and post it up there. That's the turbo that they will use, so it should be good. Closed loop will be where you set the PSI number you want, and then it targets that, adjusting off the base duty cycle. Open loop is where you're just using duty cycle. Next one's going to have bottles as well for me, so I guess we'll be even then when we're both auto. I'll be back in 2 secs. I need to get more ice. I'm the same, I run open loop for boost control as well. Wildo 67, if you're still on there, have you potentially thought about doing another car, whether it's eco-based or another platform, or are you just sticking to your Forbies and boats? Have a drink. Jesus, 20 PSI. Yeah, it's a lot of people who try to tune their own Haltex have a lot of issue with that. They go to closed loop, they just put closed loop in and put a PSI number, and it doesn't happen because they don't set up the open loop table correct. They don't realise you need to tune it in open loop first, get your settings there about right, and then you can go to closed loop and adjust from the open loop table. Yeah, that's fair enough. It is, as you know, done it already, a lot of money. But ooh, cross at 7480. Jeez, that's close. Had it down to a pinpoint. Did you get in the 8s Wild L67 back in the day? I can't remember. $890, yeah, slicks, you did. That's killer. Yeah, it's econ fed. A lot of people don't understand that. They just leave like the factory default settings in for whatever base map they had, and yeah, just put in 20 PSI and like, oh, it doesn't make 20 PSI. Stabjet in, I haven't really looked too much in it. In the Haltex, can you set up a safety table where the axes be like boost over AFR and have that where it cuts? Wild 67 had a white VS Commodore U over here in WA. Oh god, here we go, Tin Shed. You and your supercharger things. I do sleep because I know that's what I set up in my own ECU when I do my own things. Stabjet Shanon is how it's spelt, is the best way I can put it down. Pretty sure it was forged, wasn't it? Wild L67. Yeah, I'm just saying how it's spelt so they know. Yeah, fair enough. I know I butchered it. I was saying it as you read it, I guess. Stockyard 67 quarter. Now, Wild L67 also assembled Slug 6's bottom end. It's also over here in WA. But he's not too active on social media. I can't think who has the fastest L67 bottom end. No one's really gone drag racing with one in like a decently set up car. I know from no, that would be Josh Grant. Nah, Slug 6 is a VY Calais or Bellina, one of the two. The Monaro you're thinking of was Aaron Punchard's CV6 Monaro. That made 760 through a T400 or Glide, one of the two, can't remember. Years and years ago. And he had a injector O-ring, I think it was pinched or something, and started a fire, engine bay fire from fuel at Power Cruise, and he parted it out from there, went LS. Yeah, Josh's car runs stupidly fast. Yeah, Stabjet, he's long gone out of the scene. Opened up his own workshop here in WA, and that didn't go too well after a year or two. Apparently he didn't pay renting fees as well for the workshop he was using. Tin Shed, if you're still on here, are you planning on heading to the drags at all to see what you get down there? Yeah, for what I saw a while ago, he went LS with twins. Has he got it finished yet, or is he still building it? Definitely is Stabjet. I don't. Wild L67 might be able to confirm, but I don't think he managed to get his own place, or maybe he did, but yeah, for whatever reason, he stopped. Oh, he's still tinkering. Fair enough. Fuck, it's been a fair few years. Too Easy Balls Water, cheers for jumping on the stream. Have a good week at work, man. Oh, in 2 weeks, sick. Make sure you do a video on that, man. That'll be killer. I don't think there's really been any YouTube videos for L67s that are charged or turbo supercharged at the drags. That'd be really cool. Yeah, Cornfed, 2 weeks, head down with Tin Shed, go to the drags, do a collab. That'd be sick. Okay, fair enough. I know the reason I ended up with my first forged motor was because of him fucking over a customer. But what the whether that was him or something else, like the actual reason for it, who knows? I don't know the full story. Yeah, Confed, do it, man. Time to see what you get down the quarter. See what that mile per hour is. Oh, is it the same night at your rolls? Yeah, same. It's been too long since he's been down there. It'd be good for him to have a good run at it. I haven't messaged him in a while to see if he got it running again after everything got a little bit crispy in there. I offered to help him get it rewired apart so he can get going again, but maybe once I'm ready, I'll hit him up and say I'm going down and see if he's keen. Oh, it's fixed. Sweet. What do we got? Like 2-3 months till the Plex opens again properly. I'm hoping every time I'm home I'll go down there and just work on my 330 and 8th. Oh, really? He's keeping the bags. I wonder. Don't know why. Because he just won't. Like, if he does he drive it on the street much, or does it stay in the garage? Because if he's just stay in the garage and go on a drag event, it just makes sense you'd put springs or coilovers in it. Yeah, right. Fair enough. It's a shame because it's a nice car, decent setup. Would be good if he upgraded turbo though and pushed it a little bit further. He's got everything to support it. Now he's talking airbags as in no springs or shocks, like the go low slammed airbag type deal. Well, that's my goal then. Around 700 horsepower to get a 9.9. You would have been sick in a Corolla. That chassis would have been mint. Right, fair enough, Stabjet. You guys are lucky you get heaps of testing tunes. We get fuck all here. Well, it's private days, we got to know someone to get an invite. Yeah, Stabjet, I can fit 275s under this, and the guards haven't been touched either. That's on 15x7 pursuit rims, whatever they call it, the cop rims. Yeah, 275s fit under there. I've got 255s pretty close to fresh. over there waiting to go on when I take this to the drags. So I've got to raise the rear up a little bit. It's still at P-plate to reach spec. Which I'll probably get onto this week. Yeah, lucky. We had an event today. Everyone was begging for a drag event, so they did a winter heat event, and of course it rained. So I don't know if anyone got to race. I didn't bother entering, obviously, because the clutch wasn't in, and there's no point trying to race on the half tune that was done, and the VE's pointless to race. I already know what I can get in that. You're lucky you get it all year round. Oh, you have stock heads back then. Auto 67. Ah, okay. Yeah, set up for a VN. Makes sense then. What's insane though is there's guys running 235s and I think it was the 7s. Not too sure. Yeah, right. Jeez, would have made a huge difference if they were done, especially now with what Nathan's doing with heads. No, that's it, Stabjet. That's why when I start to head down there, I'm going to start to pile up some axles ready, bring some down, because I can see either bogging or snapping axles. Yeah, I just got the ET Street R, I think they are. Can't remember. But yeah, she's going to hurt. Yes, Stabjet, I will eventually get a slick, but I'll have to wait till I can find the 15 by 4 inch rims and tyres. I'm not going to put a slick and run a normal tyre up front. I heard that can get very sketchy. Quizzy Cornfed, cheers for jumping on the stream. Have a good night, man. Okay, well, 67. So, yeah. I definitely rate Nathan's stuff. It's performing on mine so far, but we'll see the end result. Obviously, other guys know what they're doing too, but I'm very happy with the choice I made to go through him. There's a big difference in the size from 26 to a 28, isn't there? Like especially RPM wise at the big end. It's all something I'll look into on the next combination, especially with the auto. I'm not too fussed while it's manual. Yeah, I've got to get the short track sorted, which is my biggest issue. So I can't get that dialed in, I'm not going to bother. Yeah, okay. Would you reckon it's worth, once I start getting to that point where I should look at getting rid of the ET Streets and going to radial, I should go straight for a 28 inch, or should I just start with a 26 and see how I go? I'd rather just save up and buy it right the first time and fuck around. The Pro Radio, is that a Mickey Thompson or a Hoosier? Search it up here. Pro bracket radio. Oh, she costly. Hey Dan, you're not bad. How about yourself? When you finish reading this? The forged motor and a Getrag is really going to hate life. I know people that have had them last at 500 horsepower for ages. At 420, I went through 10 in 8 months, and that was off boost, just driving around to and from work, like spooling up from traffic lights or whatever to, I don't know, 10, 12 PSI here in a flutter, and then just cruising. But yeah, the factory autos are even worse, or exactly just as bad. So it's kind of a grey area. If you already Getrag, just stick with that for the meantime and save up and look towards a T56 if you want to go manual, or look at going straight to a Powerglide or T400. Yeah, so that's another thing. When I go auto, I have to change diff gears. I've got 3.7s I miss at the moment, and I'll end up going back to 3.45s or 3.08s depending on how it all is. Mickey T, sorry, sweet. I'll keep that in mind. Maybe I'll look at the 28s then, because I'll be spinning the same 7.5, 7.6, 7.8, but then with a new combo I'll be going 8,000 plus. So yeah, maybe I'll look at the 28s. That's it. Go try to get a rag. TR6060 is good, but it's remote shifter. There can be an absolute prick to install in these with the remote shifter. Unless, I haven't looked, maybe you can convert it to the mounted on the box. They're just so costly though. You haven't finished this one, but I own parts of the new one. And there's a fair bit of custom stuff happening there, which I don't know enough about and also not allowed to say. But yeah, this one won't be anything special with Cometics anyway. Yeah, the remote shifter sends the shifter way further back on them compared to, unless if you can hard mount them on there. Built 460s junk. I've heard of people getting them built to the highest specs and they just still break. I wouldn't bother at all with a 460 at all. Honestly, if you want to be going manual, if that's your end goal, I'll just keep the Getrag, just run it as is. Just don't send it on the dyno. Just keep it to a moderate happy 400, 450, 500 or whatever, and just enjoy the car. Don't rape it. Well, you save for a T56 and then convert that and then send it back for a tune and see where you get to. Just remember the T56 uses power to turn it too. It's a big heavy box. So don't expect to whack a T56 to have the same boost, same tune and make the same power or more. You'll probably see less on the dyno, if that's your thing. Yes, Wild 67 said they don't bubble, they just break. Yeah, it does make things a lot better. It's still, even on your own with a tranny jack, it's still not fun. Like if it's tilting one way, you gotta really catch it and be able to hold on to it. That's part of the reason why I didn't bother attempting to put it in today. Like, yeah, sometimes you might get lucky and it goes in first time straight away, but if it doesn't, you could be there for hours. I was like, I'm not going to bother rushing that before the stream. Toysy Stabjet, cheers for jumping on the stream. I'm probably going to end it pretty soon anyway. Four manuals. Oh, you T5 before? Or you get track as well? And 460s, fuck. How many converters did you go through till you found one that worked well? Or how many times did you get it modified, I guess? Right, I might finish the stream off here, head inside, have some dinner, and get a early night before I got to get up tomorrow morning, stupidly early. So if you're still here, appreciate you watching the stream. I'll be doing another one next Sunday because I'm still home. So yeah, we'll do that. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good week. Cheers for jumping on, like I said, and I'll see you guys then.